Oh yeah, freaking back, man. Feels good, man. It's good. This is uh awesome moment because I had to sit out for a few months, man, and not get to continue on with the direction I was going in when I started this year. So I'm gonna end better than I started, hopefully. So far, so good. Anyway, blame shifting. Okay. Blame shifting is an emotionally abusive behavior or tactic. These are some definitions or descriptions of blame shifting. Abusers have difficulty taking responsibility for problems, so they go as far as to necessarily to attribute blame for their circumstances to anyone else, even if it may sound somewhat conspiratorial. Hey, do you see how they just chain and anchored conspiracy to blame shifting? When really blame shifting is this. Like, look, grandma gets ran over by a reindeer, okay? And somehow, because I wasn't curfewing for quarantine, it's my fault, even though I never seen her. No, I didn't hurt anybody. There was no crime committed. But to totally take off the liability that this stuff was already patented before it was released to the public. And the same people who supposedly are trying to cure it would seem to have money in the stock market in the patent that precedes all the stuff going on. So that's a form of blame shifting. And also that is this right here. That very tactic literally is this. Watch this. It is called this. Let me see. Here we go. I'm loving this right here. I kind of don't like this little excerpt right here. Emotional blackmail and FOG are terms popularized by psychotherapist Susan Forward about controlling people in relationships and the theory that fear, obligation, and guilt are the transactional dynamics at play between the controller and the person being controlled. Let me see if we can find one more. Emotional blackmail describes a style of manipulation where someone uses your feelings as a way to control your behavior or persuade you to see things their way. She describes emotional blackmail as being subtle and insidious. So, in other words, Grandma, it's your fault Grandma got ran over by the reindeer because you didn't do what I told you to do because you are stupid and you couldn't tie your own shoes. You couldn't wipe your own bung if it wasn't for me and the governors and stuff telling you how to live. Like, look, we haven't been in your life for the rest of the years of your life and you've made it this far, but no, if it wasn't for us, Grandma wouldn't have got ran over by a reindeer, okay? So you better just do what we say. And don't worry about what we're doing, Look, you had too much to think today, sir. We're gonna have to call the Ministry of Truth and have them give you an examination, prostate exam. Yeah, okay, so this is another kind of term for it. These are all tactics that will be used to throw you off your game, get you off kilter, to get them out of the hot seat. And a lot of time, these techniques, literally, you will be righteous. They will be guilty as sin. Somehow, they will turn it around and it will be like you did something wrong. Something's wrong with you. You're defective. Without them, you are incapable of zipping up your own pants, basically. And you better just listen to them. You're going to get in trouble doing all that thinking now, man. What you've been reading books, where you been getting all these ideas, who you been talking to. Look, I've been starving you out of your stimulation. You must be talking to somebody else. Okay, yeah, we're still early in this, buddy. Okay, let's see here. Make someone feel guilty, and especially in order to induce them to do something. Let me see. A guilt trip is a feeling of guilt or responsibility, especially an unjustified one, induced by someone else. Creating guilt trip in another person may be considered to be a psychological manipulation in the form of punishment for a perceived transgression. We perceive it was your lack of compliance to our popularity contest. If you would have just did what we said, we wouldn't have had to make it up that grandma got ran over by a reindeer to punish it's like, because look, it ain't working on us, so they're just kind of like the pimps are beating up the prostitutes and giving them black eyes to send a message to everybody that they're not playing anymore. So it's like they're making them put on their makeup and put their mask on over their makeup. You know what I mean? Because it's just ridiculous and redundant and hypocritical. Anyway, let me see. Let me see what else we can throw in the mix. The mix here. Here we go. This word right here. This is this, okay? On the media, they might put it out something like this. Because of low-income people and minority groups' mistrust of the government, grandma got ran over by a reindeer, and grandma was holding the stroller when it happened. So all of these low-income and minority groups, these undesirables, it's their fault. So they get the jab first. A plan to discredit a public figure by making false or dubious accusations. Look, dude, flip it. Public figures making people like me, regular folk, and other regular folk like unto that, seem making false or dubious accusations that it's my fault. Grandma got ran over by a reindeer, and I'm the like I'm the Grinch who stole frickin' Isthmus. Yeah, oh yeah, we're freaking. Anyway, that's the form of a smear campaign, and all these tactics literally are being used against us. It's basically called this, dude. In military terminology, it's called this. Right here. Psychological warfare, PSYWAR, or the basic aspects of modern psychological operations, PSYOP, have been known many other terms. Look, political warfare, PSYOPs, hearts and minds, and propaganda. An archive of wartime aerial propaganda leaflets and research sites for the historical techniques of PSYOP warfare. I mean, I'm surprised they're not sending down leaflets that say, come get it, like in real King James style, like big bold print font. Come get it. Your free jabberwocky. You know what I'm saying? Anyway, man, it's psychological warfare, also called PSYWAR, the use of propaganda against an enemy supported by such military, economic, and political measures. Okay, there's another thing I wanted to throw up in this, man. I wanted to outline this as well, but I can't remember what the frick my point was in the first place. Anyway, yes, look, these same tactics anyway that are used just to abuse us, and look, in general MK Ultra type of abuse and traumas, like intentionally induced traumatic states to influence or persuade or denigrate someone's judgment. You know what I'm saying? basically you can attack the brain through the emotions, but you can also attack the 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 emotions through the brain. Anyway, for instance, here's this one. Look. Problem, reaction, solution. Okay, this is another war uh, technique that can actually be used by a narcissistic partner or them and their support group of enablers and flying monkeys. Can problem, reaction, solution. The problem is they keep acting like they're fighting, and then it's like they're really behind the scenes, they're really friends, but they're acting like there's a problem to they're pretending there's a problem, and they're acting a reaction to one another, and then they'll provide you, this will all stop and our lives can go back to normal and just be not so complicated if you just do the solution of only 19 payments of $18.95 and no refunds. Sign here on the dotted line in blood. Wait, problem, reaction, solution is not postulated by David Icke. It existed way before David Icke. It's just the Hegelian dialectic, which is it's thesis, antithesis, synthesis, or pressure from above and below. These are all that's unfortunately, I ain't got nothing against Icke or anybody like that, but look, they're using that to smear this legit ski that it's the Hegelian dialectic, which is, it means the same thing. Thesis, antithesis, synthesis. Problem is thesis. Reaction is antithesis. The solution would be a synthesis. It means if you just listen to the reaction to solve this problem, we can all get along from here on out. But no, once you give in, they just keep using the same method to erode and milk more power and ultimately our narcissistic supply. It's like, here's another one, like also in a political situation, it could be like this. Here's a term right here, watch. Okay, the discard. And I want to use this in the sense of a narcissistic discard. Get rid of someone or something as no longer useful or desirable. A person or thing rejected, no longer useful or desirable, like essential workers, small business, freedom, constitution, stuff like that. Anyway, I wanted to say narcissistic discard because basically it's like after it'd be like a person who's courts you and they act like they love you to death, but the minute that you finally give it up what they want, you never hear from them again, and then you get ghosted. But anyway, for instance, that's like a politician who says that he supports abortion, and he gets voters supposedly, and after he's elected, the smiles are gone, the babies don't get kissed no more. Actually, they get thrown into the incinerator and hacked up and sold to China, and they don't care. That means they used these voters as a beard to look as if they were righteous or they cared about somebody's cause. But once they don't need the use of that image anymore, they don't even care. They vote. They said that they were going to stop abortion. They vote for abortion 4 to 10 times in their career. And that's another way that we get discarded. But we get used when the cameras are watching, but we get shooed away, swept under the rug when they get turned off, buddy. Anyway, take care. Much love. Talk to you soon.